Hey guys, what's up? Shadowlands back for another video. Today I'm going to be doing interviews with other Combat Arms players from different perspectives, people who are just coming back to the game, who've been playing the game constantly, people who recently quit the game, a whole bunch of different people, so we can see who has what opinions on what topics, and be asking a bunch of different questions to a bunch of different people. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. So our first person is aka Thor, one of my favorite people from Minecraft and other games, but here I have some questions for Thor. Why did you stop spending so much time on Combat Arms?
I stopped spending time on CA mainly because it got boring. With the new update, everyone had access to all the weapons, and playing against duels and Max's shotguns all the time, it just got a little annoying, and I got bored with it.
Okay, so you've been spending a lot of time on Soldier Front 2 recently. What's better about Soldier Front 2?
Well, there's a lot better in my opinion. Weapon balance is far superior. It's a little more competitive with hardcore game modes, as well as a larger variety of maps that are better put together.
Okay, so are there any other games you play? Which ones, if so?
I play Osu, Minecraft, of course. I recently got back into League of Legends, and that's about it.
Okay, so what would you change about the recent Combat Arms update, if anything?
Yes, NX weapons for GP. That's probably the biggest thing that I had a problem with.
Like just permanents, or would you sell back any of them? Like even 7-day durations?
Any of them. Even 7-day durations.
Well, thank you, and let's move on to the next person. Hey guys, so the next person we have on the list is Apathetic. He recently came back to Combat Arms and joined Tears of Fear. He's a good friend of mine. He was back in Tears of Fear during the glory days, and now he is back to Combat Arms after a long break. So we have some questions for you. You recently came back to Combat Arms. What's the most significant change?
The most significant change that I've noticed is that Nexon made it so we can get any weapon, or, well, anything really from the game for GP.
So do you like that, or is it a bad thing?
Well, I've not gotten a lot of NX in the past, so I'm not permanently, like, affected, unlike you.
Okay. What changes do you like the most?
Well, there's only really one that I like, which is the fact that we can really buy almost anything from in the shop for GP, so it makes it a lot easier for players like me that...
So you think it's a lot more balanced,
really,
maybe?
Yeah, it's a lot more balanced.
Okay, and what changes do you like the least? It sounds like there's a few of them you're not too happy with.
Well, the real main thing is the fact that they promote the CA reboot literally everywhere, like even on the... when you're launching Combat Arms, on that screen, it's like taking up half the screen. It just really bothers me. And then I also really preferred the old shop interface.
Okay, so you like the old shop interface that they used to have. Like, are you talking about Combat Arms 2.0 or back with the original 3.0?
I actually preferred the original a lot.
Oh, so back in 1.0 in beta, so a long time ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will really sympathize with you there. Last question. If you think the game is lacking anything, like something that hasn't been put in, not changing something that has, but something that is not in the game at all, what would it be? What's the game lacking?
Well, honestly, I was watching a video of yours yesterday, actually, and I completely agreed with what you brought up. And I think it's lacking more depth into the jobs. Like, I feel like they should be more varied, and you should be able to take on more than just one at a time.
So you think the jobs should overlap and they should rework the job system a bit?
Yes.
And probably add new jobs while they're at it.
Yeah, it's been a long time since they've done anything except change the rewards.
Okay. Well, thank you for answering some questions, Apathetic. We're going to move on to our next person. Hey, so our next contestant is Bernzy. He's been a member of Tears of Fear for a while, but he's been spending time with other games recently, so we have some questions for you, Bernzy. How much longer do you think Combat Arms will last?
After the recent update, I could see Combat Arms maybe lasting another year tops, but with the way they've been trying to fix things recently by adding GP experience passes and stuff through jobs, maybe a little longer, so it looks like they're trying to fix some things.
Do you think they're just trying to make it last, or they're going to actually try to make it like survive and revive itself?
I think it's just going to last. I don't think it's actually going to ever be what it was.
Okay, so what do you think the worst move Combat Arms has ever made is?
The worst move? That's a toughie. Probably the GP or the NX rare sales that they did for perms. That was pretty.
Yeah, that was back in the
ridiculously
Nextmas
stupid.
2012, right?
Yeah, that was a horrible idea.
Yeah, a lot of people like that, but I mean, I disliked it as well. I was not a big fan of that. So the other question for that is, what do you think the best move they've ever made is?
Best move, I really enjoyed the Spiders vs Scorpions event. That was probably one of the best, most enjoyable times that I started playing Combat Arms.
Really? Because that was actually, the second one was terribly done. I mean, it wasn't very well, but the first one was good. I agree with that. Are you referring to both of them? Did you play with both of them?
I played the last one they did, so whatever. That's when I started playing again. So I think if that would have been the second one.
Yeah, the first one was actually done far better. It was much less stacked, and they gave out better stuff. But anyway, moving on to the last question. What would you change most about the recent CA update, if anything?
Probably. See, I agree with the NX guns for one day, but what I have to say was really terrible was how they increased the GP prices of guns, made them only one day, and then on top of that, they made it to where there's no 7, there's no 30, 90 days, and then they increased the price and got rid of GP experience passes. Just the GP status of the whole game now is just completely ruined.
So you would want them to bring back the durations, maybe being able to buy them for permanent, and also then change the prices to reflect that.
For sure, because the fact they got rid of the passes and then they increased the prices, it just made GP so hard. I mean, if you want to farm a full set of gear and weapons, you're gonna have to spend 4 hours a day just to provide for yourself each day.
Yeah, a little bit like the real world, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, yeah, it's meant to be a game, not the real world. But thank you for answering some questions, Bernzy, and we're going to move on to the next person, guys. Hey, so our next person is Fat Jarbas. He's been in our clan for a little while now. He's a good friend of mine, always chilling together. So I got some questions for you, Fat Jarbas. What got you started playing Combat Arms?
A friend of mine showed me the game, and I pretty much liked it ever since.
You just like the free-to-play stuff, and it's just a fun game to play?
Pretty much.
Okay, so are you happy with where it's gone in the past few months with all these updates we've had?
No, and I know I'm not because I quit.
Okay. What would you change about the recent update, if anything? Like something that would draw you back into the game?
The goddamn prices lower them.
Like all the GP prices or the NX prices or both?
GP, NX, all the stuff that they raised when they said they were going to lower it.
Yeah, and I bet you were probably upset about the no GP perms that you could buy either, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for answering some questions, Fat Jarbas. We're going to move on to the next person.
Alright.
Our next person is Legit Pride. He's been an admin in my clan. He's played with Tears of Fear for an incredibly long time. So here's some questions for you, Legit Pride. You haven't been playing Combat Arms as much recently. Why is that?
Well, I kind of got pissed off with the new update.
Yeah, something you don't like
Not
about
very
it?
happy about it.
If you could change anything about the recent updates, what would you change?
I would definitely change the GP system, 'cause it's terrible.
Is it the economy you don't like, or is it the GP rates
I
that you
don't
earn?
like the economy. The GP rates are at a all-time low. Prices are up. I can't buy the weapons that I want.
Yeah, I can understand that. So, what FPS game would you recommend to people that are leaving Combat Arms?
Definitely Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike Source or the Global Offensive one, the new one?
Oh, Global Offensive, definitely.
It's definitely better. Okay, well, thank you for your time, Legit Pride. Definitely thank you for answering those questions. Let's move on to the next person. Hey guys, so our next person up is Unibomber. He's a relatively new person to Tears of Fear, but he's a great guy and he's got some awesome answers to some awesome questions. First one, you're still playing Combat Arms a lot. What's kept you motivated for the past few months?
Not much. The way they're going.
You don't think Nexon's doing the right thing right now?
With all the screw-ups and failures, no. I still log on every once in a while to see what's going on in the game. Other than that, no.
Okay. Are you planning on quitting Combat Arms anytime soon?
With the amount of money invested in, no.
So it's really just the money that you've already invested in it that's keeping you going then. Last question.
Yes.
What one thing do you think Nexon could do to fix the game? Like if there was one thing they could do, what would fix it?
Give it back to the damn developers, the people who made the game, so they can fix it. Really simple. And get out of Combat Arms.
Yeah, let the developers fix the game instead. Okay, gotcha. Thanks for that. That was all the questions I had for you today. Thank you for answering questions. Let's move on to the next person. Hey, so the next person we've got is Casey Unborn. He's one of my admins and one of my very good friends. He's been in the clan for a while now, and he seems to get the flow of things, so we have a few questions for him. Do you prefer the clan system in Combat Arms or Soldier Front 2 better?
I prefer SF2. It has way better, as far as managing your clan goes and everything. It's a lot better.
So it's a lot easier to actually administrate your clan.
Yes.
What would you change about the clan system in Combat Arms?
I would probably make it to where there's different ranks other than just admin. That way you don't have to... Because I don't trust some rando with my clan, every power in my clan, but I want to give them the chance. I don't want to have to know them for a tremendous amount of time in order to trust them.
Yeah, so have more administrative ranks in there so that people can do little things.
Yes.
Like, like accept members without being able to kick members or something like that.
Yeah, very, just little, those little things, like, just to where they can't destroy my clan.
Okay, well, something about actual Combat Arms. Would competitive Combat Arms like CGL be better if Nexon hosted the games, and would it really help Combat Arms?
Well, Nexon screws everything else up, so I think that they would just screw that up as well.
That's actually a very fair answer. What would you change about the recent Combat Arms update, if anything?
Honestly, I think it was just too much too soon. I think I would change every last bit of it and take it a little bit slower, make it to where 7-day guns were still available, and yeah, just take it slower than what they did. It was way too it was way too dramatic of a update.
Okay, but do you think you would eventually take it down so only 1-day guns were available, or do you think you would leave the 7 days forever?
I would leave at least the 7 days forever.
Okay, but you think you might have gotten rid of 30 days and 90 days?
I could see where they're coming from with getting rid of those, but I would also bring the prices down on the guns.
So you'd rebalance the prices, but would you have permanent GP guns you could buy, so you could buy permanent guns with GP? Like the GP ones, not the NX ones.
Well, they had just phased that in, so I feel that they should have kept that.
Yeah, I was actually expecting the same thing, personally, but is there anything else you'd like to add on to any of these, or is that all you'd like to say?
That's all I'd like to say.
Well, thank you, KC, and that was our last contestant. Thank you all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shadowlance out.